Hej, siemano wam wszystkim ludzie, z tej strony Arturo, witam was na swoim kanale i kontynuujemy Broken Sword Director's Cut. W poprzednim odcinku porozmawialiśmy w końcu z André Lubinet, który przetłumaczył dla nas manuskrypt, a dokładnie może nie do końca przetłumaczył, ale przeanalizował i m.in. odkrył, że herb rycerza, który znajdował się właśnie na manuskrypcie, należy do rodziny Vasconcelos w Hiszpanii. Dlatego dotarliśmy właśnie w to miejsce, gdzie znajdujemy się przed posiadłością właśnie tego rodu, no i musimy w jakiś sposób dostać się do środka, żeby porozmawiać z hrabiną. Niestety problem polega na tym, że posiadłości pilnuje ogrodnik, który niechętnie chce nas wpuścić do środka. Dlatego musimy wykombinować jakiś sposób, żeby właśnie wejść do tego budynku. Przed chwileczką sobie z nim porozmawialiśmy, niestety nie ma takich opcji dialogowych, które pozwoliłyby nam na przejście przez te drzwi. Obstawiam, że musimy zrobić coś z tym wężem. Jakie w ogóle mam elementy w ekwipunku? Nie wiem, wydawało mi się, żebym musiał to przeciąć w jakiś sposób, żeby odwrócić jego uwagę, ale jedyna myśl, która mi przychodzi, to żeby na tym wężu zacisnąć ciśnieniomierz. Sprawdźmy, czy to zadziała. A, widzę, że woda przestała lecieć.
My hose has stopped.
Yeah?
See, my hose never stops.
Well, I'm sorry to hear it. It's always sad when an old tradition comes to an end.
Did you have anything to do with it?
Well, I'm shocked. I'm mortified. How could you think such a thing?
Very easily, senor. Very easily. I'm going to find out why my hose has stopped. And that means going into the house. You are not, absolutely not, to go in the house. If you do go in the house, I will set the dogs on you.
I tak wejdziemy za nim do środka. Ale zobaczcie, jaką ma minę. Nie jest zbyt zadowolony tym faktem, że zakręciliśmy mu wodę. Dobra, obstawiam, że musimy się schować.
The armor was about my size. I had a mental vision of putting it on and clanking off to see the Countess, with the gardener hanging hopelessly on the outside trying to stop me. Apart from being stupid and unworkable, it was a great plan.
Ta zbroja rycerska to jest idealna kryjówka, ale widzę, że nie mogę się tam schować.
Hey, you. I know you are there, American. All right, you dogs. I'm coming.
Okej. Czyli najpierw musieliśmy iść zobaczyć się z pieskami.
Madre Dios, who are you?
My name's George Stobbarta. I'm sorry to burst in like this.
You must leave at once. You're not wanted here.
Please, if you'd just listen a minute.
Very well. State your business, Senor Stobart.
There's been a series of murders, part of some conspiracy. Anyway, the trail led me here.
Here? There is nothing for the outside world here.
Over 600 years ago there was.
What do you mean?
This whole thing ties in somehow with the Knights Templar.
The Knights Templar are dust.
They had a secret that was so important, they went to a lot of trouble to hide it.
I do not see what this has to do with my family.
Your family had a strong connection with the Templars, right? I believe that they have planted some clues here.
Why should I believe a complete stranger who barges into my home?
Just let me have a look around. If I find nothing...
You'll be spending the night at the police station. Very well. Please, sit down.
I know your family is involved with the Templars, but I don't know how.
You should be asking how my family were involved, Senor Stobart. The Templars ceased to exist centuries ago. And as for the Vasconcelos, the line dies with me.
I'm sorry.
Don't be.
Okay, whatever happened almost 700 years ago. So, if the Templars left any clues, they're going to be in stuff that dates back to the early 14th century.
Obviously.
So, what do you have around here that's early medieval?
Early medieval. Let me think. Well, the house is relatively modern, a scant 3 centuries old. Or, of course, the chess set.
That chess set is over 600 years old? It must be worth a fortune.
Indeed it is. Not that I would part with it, of course.
No, I wouldn't either. That's the sort of thing that gets handed down to your children. Sorry.
Its value is less than you might think. The set is not complete. One of the pieces is a modern replacement. As to the original, it was lost a long time ago.
Nobody has any idea where it is?
No. The children had it when they were taken.
Children? What children?
All in good time, Senor Stobbart.
To może ona faktycznie miała jakieś dzieci.
May I examine the chess set?
Certainly. But do not move any of the pieces.
Okay, thanks.
Zatem zerknijmy.
Close up, the modern piece stood out like a sore thumb. There was something else odd about the set. All of the original pieces had irregular bases.
My lady, I have to warn you, there's a... You! Why, I'll feed you to the dogs.
Lopez, what have I told you about feeding intruders to the dogs?
But, my lady...
Never without my permission. Senor Stobbart, if I find that you're wasting my time, you will be fed to the dogs. Now, I want to show you something interesting. Follow me. Lopez, unlock the door, por favor. This is the only remaining structure on the estate contemporary with the Templars.
Nice. What is it, a summer house?
A mausoleum, Senor Stobbart.
Oh,
Come with me.
Hey, senor.
yeah?
I do not know what you have told my lady to be shown these favors, but I do not trust you.
You've got nothing to worry about. Aren't you coming in?
No, the dead do not interest me. My garden is a living thing. I will be there.
Wow, this is old.
It was constructed in the 13th century as the final resting place for the De Vasconcelos Templars.
It's well maintained.
These are my ancestors, and they deserve respect. I come here at least once a week to say a prayer for them.
Mind if I have a look around?
By all means.
No dobra, czyli trafiliśmy do mauzoleum templariuszy. Ale wiecie co? Tak patrzę na tego ogrodnika, jak powiedział moja pani, i no, dla mnie to jest mega przykre komuś służyć. W sensie, no, ja wiem, że tak kiedyś było, że byli służący i służyli jakiejś hrabinie, hrabinowi i tak dalej, ale to jest takie dla mnie poniżające. Moja pani. Jakbym był psem, to bym mógł powiedzieć, że ktoś jest moim panem, moją panią, ale człowiek człowiekowi? Nie wiem, jakoś nie przemawia to do mnie.
A big statuette of the Virgin Mary kept an eye on the place. Now what? There was nothing to snuff. Feeling like an idiot, I put it down again. On removing the Bible, I found a pattern on the lectern top. Hey! It's a checkerboard!
Szachownica, tak?
Close up, I could see that the pattern was made up of glass squares over a checkerboard pattern. It was too delicate to move.
No dobra, ale czy ja coś z tą szachownicą będę mógł zrobić?
The mausoleum contained 5 tombs for 5 of the Knights Templar, man-size in marble. Hanging from the ceiling was a huge yellowed candle. It looked really old and had never been lit. May I ask you something?
You may ask.
Who exactly are these people?
My ancestors. These 5 men were all members of the Templars.
5 ancestors in the order. You must be very proud.
Not 5, 6.
Where's the 6th knight?
He was lost to us.
You lost an ancestor?
It is a family matter. It can have no relevance.
Well, it's connected with the curse of the Vasconcelos, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I hope you will honor my desire not to talk about it.
Okay, well, I'll leave it for now. Is the Virgin Mary really the right person to be sharing a mausoleum with 5 knights?
You are showing your ignorance, Senor Stobbart. The Templars were dedicated to the Virgin Mary.
What's the story with the glass chessboard?
Glass chessboard. Oh, the pattern on the lectern. Purely decorative, I'm sure.
There are pieces of glass missing from it.
Oh, it has been like that since I was a girl.
The gaps in the glass chessboard look awfully deliberate.
No, it is ridiculous. What possible significance can it have?
It's part of a chessboard, and the gaps are for...
Senor Stobbart, you cannot mean...
This place was built for the Templars. Your chess set is as old as the Templars. It's kind of suggested, isn't it? I think this must be it. This is what the manuscript is pointing to.
This is extraordinary. Am I to understand that the Templars left a puzzle here? And in all of this time we failed to realize that there was a puzzle?
It was wonderful to watch the Countess change before my eyes.
Right. Well, no time for wallowing in self-pity, eh, Senor Stobbart? This mystery has had a good long run, but it ends here and now.
All those years of fatalism were falling away from her.
Lopez! Lopez! Put that hose down and listen! Go to the house and get my chess set. Yes, the old chess set! Now hurry! My, this is exciting, is it not?
Don't get too excited. This could be a blind alley.
Oh, I do not believe that for a moment.
It's good to see you happy.
Happy? You know, I think I am.
While we're waiting, I'd really like to know what happened here. I mean, the curse and everything?
It all began at the time of the dissolution of the Templars. Don Carlos had already left their ranks to become a scholar.
Don Carlos, is he the guy who went missing?
See, but he had reckoned without the local bishop. The bishop envied us our lands and determined to use the papal edict as an excuse to destroy us. Don Carlos was on one of his scholarly journeys when the Inquisition arrived. When Don Carlos returned, it was to find his loyal manservant slain and his children gone.
They took the kids? But why?
Oh, we will never know. The bishop denied all knowledge of the children's disappearance. But witnesses had seen his men kill the servant who had been charged to protect them.
What happened to Don Carlos?
He swore he'd find his children if he had to go to the edge of the world. He put on his armor and took up his sword and shield and rode out alone. He was never seen again. Lopez, you have the pieces.
See, my lady, as you asked.
Por favor, Senor Stobbart, would you be so kind?
My lady.
Calm yourself, Lopez. I believe Senor Stobbart's motives are pure.
Very well, my lady. My lady seems to trust you.
But you don't.
No, senor.
It fits, Senor Stobbart. It fits.
Working quickly, I found which pieces went into which holes.
Każda figura musi być umieszczona na odpowiednim polu. Gdy klikniemy namieszczoną figurę szachową, obróci się ona, ukazując wzór na spodzie. Podobnie klikamy pole na szachownicę, ona pokazuje swój wzór. Każda figura musi stanąć na polu z identycznym wzorem. W tym celu przyciągamy figurę w odpowiednie pole szachownicy. Przy próbie postawienia figury na złym polu odskoczy ona samoczynnie na bok. Okej, no dobra. Czyli tak, wiemy, że tutaj stoi koń.
Bingo! I mean, checkmate.
Senor Stobbart, look!
What is that? It's not the Holy Grail, is it?
No, Senor Stobbart. It is the communion chalice of the De Vasconcelos, missing for almost 700 years.
Wow. Well, go on.
I cannot. I can hardly believe it is real.
Go ahead. Live a little.
Are you sure? This is your moment of triumph, Senor Stobbart.
Sure, I'm sure. The possibility of death traps only occurred to me a few days later.
So the curse of the De Vasconcelos is lifted?
Oh no, the Countess was thrilled to find the lost chalice, but there's still the riddle of the missing knight.
Well, you can forget about that now and get back to finding the Templars' secret.
Actually, I promised the Countess I'd find Don Carlos.
You what?
I can explain everything.
You have got the odds for a withered old Spanish aristocrat?
The Countess entrusted me with the chalice and the quest for her ancestor's tomb.
You're as crazy as she is. Haven't you got enough problems? Khan and the Templars?
It's all part of the same thing. The chalice is important, I'm sure. The manuscript pointed us to the knight, and I have to find him.
What then?
I don't know. But when the knight and the chalice are reunited, maybe I will. Just how long have you known Labano?
Andre? We met at college. He helped me out when I was a fresher. Showed me around, that sort of thing.
You never told me that before. I thought he was just a working acquaintance.
So he is. I rarely see him these days. You know, he hasn't changed much. A little lesser at the front, perhaps. I'd forgotten how much fun he could be.
A George w dalszym ciągu jest o niego zazdrosny.
Do you think the assassin was responsible for killing Marquet?
I don't think so. Besides, Marquet...
He was pumped to the gills with sedatives. He wouldn't have recognized the... This is the chalice I discovered in Spain.
I still can't figure out why the Countess gave it to you. After losing it for all those years, she simply gave it away to a total stranger? She's one prawn short of a paella.
The Countess is a fine lady. You shouldn't compare her with seafood.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's something going on between you and that Countess.
Are you serious? She's old enough to be my grandmother.
Chyba Nico też jest troszeczkę zazdrosna o George'a.
I'd better get back to the quest.
Dobra, wiecie co? Wydaje mi się, że powinienem udać się ponownie do Muzeum Krün. No bo wiemy, że włamywacze chcą ukraść ten statyw. A my nie chcemy, żeby ten statyw został skradziony. Więc wydaje mi się, że musimy coś tutaj wykombinować, żebyśmy to my ten statyw przejęli.
He was a thin-faced pal.
Hi, Andre.
Hello, Georgie. What do you make of this cup, Andre?
It's a 14th century communion vessel. Spanish, probably.
Aha, w ogóle go to nie interesuje aż tak bardzo.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Ale to dzięki niemu udało nam się zdobyć ten kielich.
No, monsieur. No et no.
Okay, okay.
Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur.
Can you give me any further information?
Certainly. That trap.
Ale my na te wszystkie tematy już z nim rozmawialiśmy.
No.
Thanks for your help.
Kurde, no nie pamiętam, co mielibyśmy tutaj zrobić. Otworzyć okno?
Attention. Please.
Don't you think it's kind of stuffy in here?
Better stuffy than dead.
What's the problem?
Not just that, monsieur. There's a...
So what's the problem?
They cook their burgers on a charcoal grill. And the fat falls on the open flames. The amount of organic compound and smoke particles released is astounding. Since they opened, local air pollution has doubled. And it stinks like a funeral pyre. That is why I keep the windows closed.
A może powinniśmy się schować do tego sarkofagu i poczekać? No nie wiem, nie pamiętam.
Leave it alone. That closet is over 3.
Closet? It's a sarcophagus.
Albo wiecie co? Plan jest taki.
Don't
Ja otworzę to okno, ale poczekam, aż on nie będzie patrzył.
Don't open the...
W momencie, kiedy on pójdzie później zamknąć to okno, to ja się schowam do sarkofagu. Może to o to chodzi. Bo on teraz widział, że ja tam próbuję wejść. O właśnie.
It is closing time, Monsieur Lobineau.
Already, there just aren't enough hours in the day.
More than enough for me. I can't wait to get home and put my feet up.
Eh bien, see you tomorrow.
Good night, Monsieur.
Quit fooling around, you moron! Get your ass over here and bring that flashlight!
Jestem ciekaw, skąd mieli klucze do tego budynku?
What the... Who's there?
Let's get out of here!
And when I woke up, I was at the police station. Luckily, I managed to persuade Rosso I was innocent.
Poor Georges.
What a mess. I bungled the whole thing.
I don't think so. You made a pretty good job of distracting those two crooks.
Yeah, but the killer got away with the tripod.
No, he didn't. He's not the only one who can dress up in costume.
You mean it was you who stole the tripod? Oh, hell, Nico. I could have been shot.
Those dogs are more likely to shoot their own feet.
I just wish you'd told me your plans. We're supposed to be in this together. But how come you dressed up like a pantomime cat?
Donne ce que Georgie plaît.
Oh, rats. And don't call me Georgie.
Oh, I really thought you'd be pleased. After all, we've got the tripod.
Nicole to troszeczkę jak taka kobieta kot. No ale dobra, udało nam się zdobyć statyw.
I'd better get back to the quest.
Który sobie wzięliśmy do ekwipunku. Mont façon.
Excuse me, officer. What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Les Templiers. Only that they were excommunicated in 1312 and hanged in their dozens within this very square.
Boy, what they teach in the police academy these days.
No, monsieur. I read it on that board over there.
Shouldn't you be off directing traffic or something?
You have seen the Parisian traffic, no?
Yeah, so?
I could direct the traffic. The most dangerous, the east side of Rome. Or I can sit here and enjoy the sun, the architecture, and the Sauvignon. Which would you choose?
Yeah, but I'm not a policeman. What happened to duty?
An excellent question, monsieur.
What does this chalice suggest to you?
Wine.
Gość jest alkoholikiem. Dobra, wydaje mi się, że nie powinienem się go wypytywać o te tematy. Aczkolwiek no, zapytamy się o Kana.
Have you seen this man before?
No. Who is it?
I believe him to be an international assassin.
Oh.
Is that all you can say? Oh.
I did wonder if I should say that I believe you to be an international paranoiac, but it didn't seem polite.
Okej. Jestem ciekaw, czy będzie chciał się przywitać.
Would you like to shake? I stopped myself barely in time. Electrocuting a cop would not have been smart. They'd rebuild the Bastille just so they could throw me in and throw away the key.
Ale jest pewnie z innego posterunku niż Rosso i tamten drugi gościu. Mają inny uniform.
I'll see you around.
Oui, monsieur.
Czy jak to mówi współczesna młodzież, inny outfit.
I had no desire to talk to the crowd. Hey, you with the balls.
Oui?
How did you learn to be a juggler?
Juggler? What is this juggler?
It's you. You juggle, that makes you a juggler.
No, I am a jongleur.
A jongler? What's that?
Mon Dieu! A jongleur is an artist, a master of the contragravitique aeroballetic mysteries. In centuries past, the courts of the crownheads of Europe had the jongleurs, witty, erudite men to whom the monarchs turned in their hours of need.
Wait a minute, wait. Let me get this straight. Our enemies are at the borders, plague ravages the land, and the peasants are revolting. Thank God we've got Chuckles the Jongler to throw his balls around. I don't think so. That juggling doesn't look so difficult.
Oh, it does not, does it not? Perhaps you feel you could do better, no?
I'll give it a try.
Be my guest.
I had no idea what I was doing. But this guy was obviously an idiot, so how difficult could it be? A lot more difficult than I thought. That's how difficult.
Dokładnie tak samo bym żonglował.
Still, it was my big chance to be derided by complete strangers.
Not so easy after all, is it?
No, I guess not. Hi again.
Oui?
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Le Templier? Ah, the last Grand Master, Jacques du Molay, was burnt on an island in the Seine in 1314.
Wow. You're pretty well educated for a juggler.
No, monsieur. I read it on that board over there.
Okej.
Have you seen this man before?
No.
It didn't seem right to fry somebody's palm when they make their living with their hands. Catch you later.
Au revoir.
I had no desire to talk to the crowd. I couldn't open it with my bare hands.
No dobra, ale tak się składa, że my mamy otwieracz do kanałów.
Hey! Hey, you! What do you think you are doing? Leave that camera alone! Now,
Sorry, no harm intended.
you stay away from the...
Czyli na razie do kanału wejść nie możemy, dopóki siedzi tutaj policjant. Dobra, jest jakiś ksiądz.
I didn't have time to sit around.
Zamieńmy z nim słówko.
Excuse me, Father.
Pardon?
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Not at all, monsieur. It will be my pleasure to help you.
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
You have come to the right place, if that is your interest. Many of them were executed in the square outside. It was a disgrace to France.
Well, the Pope was right behind it, though.
Clement V was a man of mammon, not of God.
That's kind of forthright for a priest, isn't it?
You think so? It is hard to be sure what happened. It is so long ago.
How long have you worked here?
Hardly work, monsieur. This is a calling. I have been helping Father Flambert for nearly 6 months now.
I guess you don't know much about the history of this church, then.
Just a little.
You've got quite a shine on that candlestick.
Ah oui. Anything less than best would be an insult to the Almighty.
I guess so. I never thought of it like that. I've got a medieval tripod.
Monsieur, you are a walking treasure house.
How about this for a gem?
It is very beautiful, monsieur. And yet, I feel that there is an air of suffering about it.
What do you make of this chalice?
It certainly looks very old.
About as old as this church, I think.
There seems to be an engraving on it.
Yeah? What does it say?
I do not know, it is very tarnished. With your permission, I could try polishing it. I promise I will be very careful.
Zgodzimy się? Raczej tak.
That'd be very good of you.
This shouldn't take very long. Feel free to look around.
Okay, thanks.
Jak chcemy się dowiedzieć czegoś więcej na temat templariuszy, to niech czyści dla nas ten kielich.
I didn't have time to sit around.
Co byśmy mogli tutaj zwiedzić? Jest jakiś posąg.
On the end of the staff was some kind of disc with a cross on it. Around the base of the disc was a hairline crack.
O,
A scroll was a symbol of scholarship. I knew that much. A scholarly knight. Well, I could have just taken the end off the staff, but I wanted to be sure what I'd be getting out of vandalizing a church, other than deported.
być może coś będziemy mogli na tym użyć.
A stone knight lay in full stone armor, blank eyes looking at the ceiling. Carrying all that armor around must have been hard work. A stone knight lay... I wondered if this guy had died in combat. In comparison to its neighbor, it looked pretty plain. I didn't recognize the biblical story in it. I was a Sunday school dropout. Somehow, it looked more modern than its neighbor. A knight, there in the company of his fellows. Biblical references engraved into the tomb edge to guide his way to the next world. I guess.
Dobra, wydaje mi się, że wszystko już obejrzeliśmy. Chodźmy.
The priest was still busy with the chalice, so I decided to have another look around the church.
A może my byśmy musieli wyjść z kościoła i wrócić tu ponownie? No bo tutaj po lewej stronie nic tak naprawdę nie ma. Dobra, zrobimy tak. Wyjdziemy z kościoła, wejdziemy ponownie. Może kielich będzie już wystarczająco wyczyszczony.
The priest was still busy.
A jednak nie. Czyli coś jeszcze muszę obejrzeć.
I didn't have time to sit around.
Albo faktycznie coś przy tym posągu musimy zrobić. Coś na nim użyć.
On the end of the staff was some kind of disc with a cross on it.
Tylko co bym miał tam włożyć? Klejnot? No nic więcej nie przychodzi mi do głowy.
A statue of a knight holding a staff and a scroll. The statue had any secrets. It was concealing them pretty well. On the end of the staff was some kind of disc with a cross on it. I could see that what had at first seemed to be a fine engraved chasing on the scroll was actually writing. Per disciplinum meum lux videbus. Sounds pretty familiar to me.
Tylko kompletnie nie mam zielonego pojęcia, co to znaczy.
The priest would...
A kapłan w dalszym ciągu jest zajęty czyszczeniem. A co gdyby tak położyć to na tym?
Maybe not.
Lepiej nie.
On the end of the... A knight there in...
Rycerz w towarzystwie swoich kumpli. To sobie już oglądaliśmy.
I didn't recognize the biblical story in it. In comparison...
Ale widzicie, no bo tu mogę obejrzeć te elementy, a tutaj mogę wejść w jakąś interakcję z tym posągiem. Tylko no kompletnie nie mam zielonego pojęcia, co miałbym na nim użyć.
The priest was still...
A z księdzem ponownie porozmawiać się nie da.
I didn't have time to sit around.
Nie mam czasu, aby sobie posiedzieć.
A row of old pews, beautifully carved and glowing with polish. I thought of all the people who must have sat here over the decades. All those Parisian derrieres, firm buttocks of the young ladies, the flabby flesh of the old men. That wasn't a pleasing image, so I went back to the young ladies. Whoa! The priest was...
Długo jeszcze będę czekał, aż wyczyści ten kielich. Tu nic nie ma. Mogę wyjść na zewnątrz. Ale na zewnątrz po co?
Hi again.
Oui?
Catch.
Au revoir.
Hello again.
Hello again, monsieur.
Brak nowych opcji dialogowych.
Look at this gem.
Cut glass.
No, it's not. It's for real.
What?
So, I didn't like to think about that for... I'll see you around.
Oui,
No, brak pomysłów na chwilę obecną. Taka pustka w głowie. W sensie, no, ja wiem, że coś na pewno w tym kościele musimy zrobić, ale...
I didn't have... The priest...
Ale nie wiem co. No nic, słuchajcie moi drodzy. W tym momencie kończymy ten odcineczek. Mam nadzieję, że wam się podobał. Dzięki wielkie za uwagę. Trzymajcie się i do usłyszenia w dniu jutrzejszym. Hej!